What's up, y'all? Welcome back to 3-Star Draw. I'm Down South 77, aka 3-Star Draw, and this here is an adult collector channel. It is the end of another year. Here we are at the end of 2025, and you know what that means. It is time for my top 10 G.I. Joe classified figures of 2025. This is the third time I've made this list. I made one in 23 because that was when I really got into the line. Did one last year in 24, and here we are in 25, and it gets harder every year because overall these figures are getting better. They're nailing more of the construction. They're getting the paint better. Like, they're just improving, and they're putting out some really good characters, which it makes it really hard to consolidate into a list. Not even kidding. I've been stressing out about making this list because there were so many good figures. I knew about 4 or 5 that were going to be on this list for sure, but when I started looking, trying to narrow down the other 5, I realized how hard it was going to be. I didn't want to put this out too early, didn't want to wait and have it coming out right at the end, so I'm here at crunch time, and I have been for like a week staring at this list. I think I had 24 figures on it, trying to consolidate it down into 10, and I think I got it. I don't know. Every time I look at it, there's like 2 that I could move and swap around. It was really hard. I'm not going to lie. So I'm going to tell you a little bit how I did my list. If you watch my channel, if you watched any of my reviews, I give the figures scores. All right. I rate them yeehaws. Some people give stars. Some people give whiskey. Some people give whatever. I give yeehaws. I'm from Tennessee. Nobody else gives yeehaws. So some figures rank higher than others, clearly. I did not make this list based completely on what my rating was when I reviewed the figure because, I have to factor in other things. So, time after opening that figure and the initial impressions, which is generally what my reviews are. Maybe I've messed around, played with that figure, posed it for pictures, and the arm fell off or something. Something that makes it not quite as good as I thought it was. And then the flip side of that coin is there are figures that I probably should have given a little bit better score, or the more I've messed with them, the more I've liked them. That happens quite a bit with this line. They're kind of meh when I get them out, but when when I get ready to do this over the course of maybe I got it 5 months ago and I've been messing with it, I really like it even more. That is kind of what I got to take into account. So I don't go purely on what I rated it when I opened it and reviewed it. So that is a big factor in the way that I do this. Now, this has been a great year for characters being introduced into the line. 2025 has been the year of 1986. If you think all the way back to the beginning of the year, we got Xandar, we got Leatherneck, we got Dial Tone. Well, some of us got Dial Tone. Some of us got Dial Tone in like August, but I think most everybody finally has him now. At least he's available to buy. We had a couple 86 characters sprinkled throughout the year. Then fast forward to here at the end, we get Sci-Fi, Wetsuit, and Mainframe, 3 more awesome characters that come out pretty awesome in the line, and all 3 were in consideration for my list. So their Lifeline's on the way. I think we'll probably have Lifeline in the next 6 or 8 weeks in our little hands, but he'll be a 26 figure. So they're checking off 86 the way they've checked off 85. Well, most of 85. Come on, Airtight. Baby needs shoes and a vacuum cleaner gun. Maybe they'll hear that. Give us Airtight next year. If they do, you heard it here first. So for this list, I don't have every figure. I'm not a completionist anymore. There was stuff that I skipped this year, some of which may be on other people's top 10 lists, but if I don't have it, obviously can't put it on my list if I don't have it or I've never had it in my hands to mess around with. Some of the main ones being Snake Eyes and the Polar Bear. I didn't get that. I canceled it. I'm going to pick it up mainly because I'm going to regret not having that polar bear next year when the snow or the snowcat shows up. So I do have to get that thing. But I know people really seem to like that snake eyes because it's the same as the retro snake eyes, I do believe. I don't have the divers, which probably aren't making anybody's list. I don't have Quick Kick and Beachhead, the Night Force 2 pack. I didn't pick up some of the retro cards. I don't have Rock and Roll. I don't have Mindbender. I didn't open the Bat. So there's some of those. Cold Slither. I've never opened my Cold Slither. It is still in the shipper box. I've never even taken it out and looked at it. So if any of those figures are really awesome, spoiler, they ain't going to be on this list. So just FYI, there, if you see something that's not mentioned, I may not have it. Just, doing what I can do over here. All right, so what are we going to do? What are we going to look at? I'm going to do my damnedest to take my top 10 figures and put them in order from my least favorite to my favorite. I have 3 runners up. I probably could have done 5 or 7 runners up. Because I think I had 24 figures in consideration for this list, 23 or 24. And then I do have my biggest disappointment in a figure for this year. And if you know me or you watch the channel or both, you may have a good idea of who that may be. I may surprise you. I don't know. Have to watch and see. So let's go forth and see 2025's top 10 list.
Number 10. Legacy Collection Search and Rescue Firefighter. That's right, you guys. This guy made my top 10 list. He probably won't make a lot of other people's list, but I like him that much that he beat out some very good named characters. Have that much fun with this figure. And, it's my list. I love this guy. Fun fact, this particular legacy firefighter is Australian because I ordered him from Pop Culture the morning we left from Joe Fest. I ordered him in the parking garage because right before we left, Shark Eyes told me he was available on Pop Culture. So this guy actually come all the way from Australia and got here about 3 days before they started showing up here. Anyway, he's worth it to me. I like this guy that much. He comes with some awesome accessories. The paint on it, you got the snow job, buck, the whole suit that hangs down. Works great for snow job with that long snow coat, and it works here. This guy's got the long protective coat covering his waist. Awesome looking yellow and the silver stripes on it. They did as good a job as they're going to be able to do to get that close to the actual reflective tape stuff on these uniforms. The helmet looks good. Underneath the helmet, he's got the hood, the balaclava. I don't think it's an actual balaclava, but the protective hood around it. Comes with goggles. Then, of course, on my other head sculpt down here, I've got the oxygen mask. The hose plugs in right here. The whole harness, the tank back here with the breathable air. It just looks so good together with this black, dark navy, and the yellow and the silver. This figure works for me, man. And let's talk about the accessories. Talked about the extra head sculpt, the extra ethnicity head sculpt with the oxygen mask and the tube. 2 sledgehammers. You guys know I love my sledgehammers. Anything melee, even though it's not what he's using them for. He's got the 2 hammers, and then he does come with the 1 big fire axe and 2 of the small fire axe. And we haven't seen this axe yet either. This was not reuse for this guy. They're different than barbecues. And then he does come with the multi-purpose rescue tool down there to get into lock cars or but get behind door jams or whatever, you know what it is, bust windows. And then he comes with Ripper's Jaws of Life, which looks infinitely better here than it did with Ripper. There are a few figures that come out this year that are more photogenic than this guy. Comes with so many good accessories. Of course, I left out what I think is the best one is the Mylar blanket here. I didn't stretch it out, but yeah, I love that thing. It's gotta have certain uses for it when you use it. But the fact that they included that, man, is just absolutely amazing to me. So I love this figure. He definitely made my top 10, and hope you guys like him. I hope you picked him up. There's a lot of hate for this figure. I don't know why. People going, oh, that's not G.I. Joe. That's not what I want. This was G.I. Joe before the G.I. Joe that me and you knew was G.I. Joe. This goes back to the Adventure series or the Adventure Team, Real World. things out in the real world, doing real world stuff. And they've got to keep the legacy or the 60th anniversary line going somehow. So they're introducing stuff like that, calling it the Legacy series. We got this guy, we got the police officer, and I think there's already 2 more announced for next year. I can't wait to see what they do, but I really thought a lot of this figure, and I'm really glad that I got this guy. Number 9, Blaine Mainframe Parker. Hey, Mr. Parker, got a good looking figure over there. This entry might be a little short. Mainframe, what is there to not like about this figure? For me, nothing. For some people, they have a real problem because he is shorter than other figures. Who cares? Who cares? Why do you care? I don't get it. For me, it works out because one of the main places Mainframe is going to be in my collection? He's going to be in a ramen van. You know what goes great in ramen vans? Shorter figures. So they did a really good job bringing this guy up into the classified line, kept the flow, the basic look of the original figure, and modernized it. Basically, all they did was bring him up to modern speed, gave him the ball cap head with the comms unit, the earpiece, and the headset on it. Love that they did that. Gave him a chest holster with a remote removable pistol. Got his knife over here. Got his I don't think I ever figured out what this other device was going to be. I'm figuring it's some kind of hacking tool. And then, of course, got his backpack, really faithful to his original backpack. Got the hose coming off of it, going into the other tool over here. And you see I got the hose wrapped where it goes behind the antenna. That keeps that hose from, it wants to just curve straight out of the back. Keeps it from doing that, makes it a little more manageable. But they really did do some fantastic work bringing this figure up into modern times. I love everything they did with it. The paint looks good. I know we had some debate before we got this guy over whether or not his shirt and his pants are different color or the same color. And I think I finally conceded that the pants are just a shade darker than the shirt. Barely noticeable, but when you have him in hand, you can see it. Not a big deal. I mean, it's fine. It's fine. But this dude is great. If you don't have Mainframe, you need Mainframe in your life. This is one of the better figures that they've done, not just this year, but overall. And that's it, man. He's on my list. I'm surprised he's not higher, but it's just the way it worked out. Number 8, Baroness HasLab. This is one that I think is probably going to show up on a lot of lists this year, although we've gotten a slew of good figures since we got this figure, but I think she's going to beat some of those for a lot of people. She did for me. She does have a couple of flaws. You see how I have her posed here? She does have those high heels. It makes her a little harder to pose. However, when she's on my shelf, she's also not spinning around. On the shelf, she's fine. She's not too bad to pose. It just takes a little bit. I've had her pose next to Destro for a long time on the shelf. She hasn't moved, hasn't fallen, whatever. So really, it's not as much of an issue as we thought it was going to be. The other one is her glasses. The arms are really flimsy, so it's kind of hard to get them to tuck in under the hair. But once you get them under there, this is the result. I love the glasses. They're perfect. Once they're on, they look great. You get them centered. But I just love the body for this figure. It's slim. It looks like the Baroness should look. This tall, athletic build. Got this nice dark blue navy flight suit. Got her patches on there on the left arm anyway. She's got the pillow that everybody was calling it, the restraint device built in. She's got a little harness on that, for the flight suit. The awesome helmet that we get, the oxygen breather that plugs into it. Nice cartoonish looking helmet with the snake on there with the polarized lens. Get 3 separate hair pieces, and we do get her rifle. She's got 2 pistols that do have the extended mag, and they did hit them with some paint that really makes it stand out. I have her on the shelf. I've ran here, as you can see, with the hairpiece with the bun because I like to have the communications headset on for her, and this is the one that it works with. The bun helps hold it in place. I just think this is a great figure. We're definitely going to see this buck again because it's the best Baroness figure that we've gotten in classified. I'd like to have this same buck in the black and maybe make the chest piece, the harness, maybe make that her classic armor, from the black um, regular Baroness that we've got, and make that where we can put it on her if we want, or have it off and it's just the black cat suit. Either way, I think that, or in the cartoon blue, give her green glasses. This figure will work for doing either one of those. But yes, it was locked behind a HasLab, but it's still part of the classified line. You can still hunt it down if you want it. It's just one of the ones that's going to cost a little more. But this was a great inclusion. I'm so glad they put this with the Rattler. This is the figure that the Rattler needed the most, aside from Wild Weasel. There's not a whole lot to dislike about it. I'm not crazy about the helmet design, but once you get it all on, it looks great. So that's why HasLab Baroness is number 8 for me this year.
Number 7, Ghost Viper and Dire Beasts. I know I'm kind of surprised too, but hear me out. Um, this set divided a lot of people. They were either like, that's the coolest thing I've ever seen, or what the hell is that? I don't need that in G.I. Joe. And that's fine. I, at first, was like, yeah, I don't need that. But the more I looked at it, the cooler it got. And then I watched Bobby B's review when he got it. I was like, yeah, I think I really need that, tying in with what they've done with Crystal Ball. I did have them ordered. I went ahead and ordered them on Walmart, and I was thinking, I can cancel them later if I need to. And after I saw the review and really started paying attention to them, I didn't cancel them, and I'm glad I didn't. I really like everything about this set. You get so much stuff with this set. Now, they created a whole new ass price point for this set, and you look at it and you think, well, it's mostly just reuse, and it is, but they did also create some new pieces in the translucent and hit it with some paint. I will still say this is the smartest, best, and most creative reuse of anything they have done in this line so far. So let me tell you why he made my list. Supernatural, green, translucent, Viper. One of the best figures that there probably is the new Retro Viper. That's what this guy pretty much is. That's what he's based on. We get the translucent arms, their hands with the coming out to grab you hands, the scary hands. The right is a pointer. Techno Viper gauntlets, which I absolutely love. You guys know that I like my Techno Vipers. You've got flames that plug into this, where his holograms were on the Techno Viper. Little screen, different screens on here. The paint on this figure looks so good, even though it's minimal. It's so well done. I love the new head sculpt where they painted the Viper head. We got red on the goggles for him. Just looks so damn good. And then we get into all of the other stuff that he come with here. So the most obvious is we get a timber repaint. Of course, this is an actual timber, or maybe it's the ghost of timber brought back. I mean, it's your toy. Half translucent, just fades from top to bottom. I love it. I love it. And of course, I've got the bad boy face on him. We do get the good boy head with this wolf, which I really don't even think this wolf needed, honestly, but we still got it. Then you get more alternate heads for Ghost Viper. You get the werewolf head, you get the King Cobra head, and then you get the spacey, I don't know what to call it head. It looks like, to me, it looks like a Cosmic Legion's Mythic Legion helmet, but I like it. It's got the translucent hose on it down here at the bottom that matches all the other accessories. Man, but wait, there's more. We get reuse of backpacks, kit, backpack, barbecues, backpack, kit. There, I put it all together. Not going to cut that. We get barbecue stuff again, but we get the green translucent tanks and the hose. So this is shooting out the dire toxin or gas or whatever it is, whatever you want it to be. They still haven't exactly told us, so make it up. It can be whatever you want. And then we do get, of course, he gets his pistol. We do get a couple of the earlier weapons with this guy, the weapons that nobody really ever wanted to see again. I don't particularly like them, but with a character like this, they work. It's kind of like giving that weird shotgun to the Twilight Guard. It fits this figure. There's just so much here, and this green translucent looks awesome with a light behind it. Even watching it spin around right here with my ring light hitting it every time it comes around, I just love it. It's a great set. I understand it's not for everybody, but it really hit a lot of the marks for me. The only thing that I don't like about this set is I wish it glowed in the dark. That's it. You can recreate that effect if you light it right, if you want to. But that's the only thing, was I wish all this translucent green glowed in the dark. And I thought his face sculpt on this Viper helmet was going to glow, but it doesn't. It's blacklight reactive, but it doesn't glow. So that's why this guy made number 7. If we hadn't got as many damn good figures this year as we got, and he wasn't mostly reuse, he probably would have been quite a bit higher on my list. But I freaking love Ghost Viper. Number 6, Richard Crystal Ball King. Now look, we just looked at Ghost Viper, so you knew Crystal Ball was going to be on my list. You just might not have known how far up he was going to be. How much is there to say about this figure? What a testament it is to the design team at G.I. Joe to take Crystal Ball and make him the most desirable figure of the year. Yeah, go back and think about it, and you can scoff. How much buzz was there around this figure this year? Once we saw what they did with him. Now, I and others way back before this figure was ever announced said, can you imagine how awesome they're going to make Crystal Ball when they get around to it? And they didn't disappoint. They really took this figure and turned him into something. Right? Like, that was the problem with Crystal Ball when we were kids, is that we thought he was cool. At least some of us did. I liked him. I like horror stuff. I like Vincent Price. When I got him home, I didn't know how to play with that figure. I didn't know what I was supposed to do with him. He didn't even have a gun. He just had a swirly shield. So they took that and they brought it up and classified, like really amped up all of the cool parts about Crystal Ball to 11 and accentuated them. I had to get that word out, and made them even better. And then they gave him his own technology to where he is actually a threat. He's still the mystic, still the interrogator, the supernatural aura around him. Or is he just a con man because his gimmick is technology? Is it technology based with magic or voodoo? Is it technology based with a toxin like Scarecrow uses? Who knows? But the guy is actually worth having and playing with now. They made him so good. Like, he's hard to not want in your collection. What do I like about him? Probably be quicker to tell you what I don't like about him, but I will try. So, of course, they gave him the Cthulhu goat head. Translucent, this is where we first saw the translucent stuff, and of course, I fell in love there. That creepy head. They gave him his little flaming actual crystal ball with a translucent skull in the middle of it. Awesome. They gave him a sword. He's got his flaming sword. The sword I could kind of give or, take or leave, but it looks cool. It is translucent plastic. So, one more cool inclusion. They gave him a translucent cap to put on the shield. If you don't like the lenticular look of the original shield that it has, and you want to put all of his dire technology stuff on him, he even has a cap for the shield to project dire out of that too. And then, of course, they did give him an extra left hand. He has this clawed left hand on, is the one I've got on him. Kind of looks like it's got a claw. I likened this in my review to American Horror Story Hotel episode. Lady Gaga played a vampire and she wore a similar glove gauntlet thing because she used it to pierce people's neck because she was a vampire. That's what that really reminds me of. But I love that they kept the mystic look. They lengthened the jacket, tattered the jacket. He's got some tattoos. He's got some removable necklaces. They kept the graying at the temples going into his hair. His hair is a little longer, a little shaggier, but it's still kept. Um, got the gold shirt, the brown shirt with the gold trim on underneath it, and they gave him a pistol this time, and it's a really cool Magnum with this gold filigree stuff on it. So if a guy like this was actually going to pull a real gun on you, it stands to reason that it would be some kind of weird, enchanted, maybe 6 shooter. That seems like what this guy is not going to be carrying a Beretta, I don't think. The fur jacket, the padding in the back. Only problem I have with this figure is you really cannot set him down in anything unless you heat the jacket really, really well and get him in there quickly. That's it, because you can't really take it off of him. I guess if you take him apart, you probably could. I'm sure somebody's probably done that, but that's more trouble than I'm going to go through to get it off of him. So I love this figure, man. They did a great job making us want Crystal Ball this time. It just took them 38 years. Here we are, top 5 of 2025, down to the nitty gritty. It actually got down to accessories and preference against how good the figure were for some of these. For me, number 5, Pythona. Yeah, I know, Cobra Law. Take, Cobra Law for what it is. Love them, hate them. I make Cobra Law work by pretending they take place in a multiverse universe origin story of Cobra, and then they're fun. You can make them work then. But Pythona is the one figure from Cobra Law that I ever really wanted or cared about, and it's the one we never got when we were kids. Talking about making Pythona in classified, this is everything I could have dreamed of given this figure in classified. It came out exactly like I was hoping they would make it if they ever did. Let's go over everything she comes with. So she does have the little monster thing that she throws that can latch on to people's heads. The little tick thing that she uses as a key card or whatever. You get the extra non-aggressive head with her with the little bit shorter hair. You do get the creature that she throws that latches on to with the gate and electrifies the gate so she can get through it. The little tape thing that she uses that spits out the. It looks like tape to me to wrap up the guards. Of course, you do get her clam. You do get the sticky clam with Pythona. Of course, this is the clam that she had that fit the whole broadcast energy transmitter hologram in it. You can see it. It's nice looking, very well done clam that they give her. She does have the double headed snake ninja stars, for lack of a better term, and you actually get the effect around them like they're swirling around. You get the gem of unusual size, gem of that size, I guess. Thinking a rodent of unusual size. She didn't come with any rodents. The gem of that size that she paid Zartan and the Dreadnoks with, and then you get extra hands for her. You get regular hands that are grippy hands, and then you get effects hands. Now, I do like all of the hands that she gets. However, I do think they should have included one with the claws out, displayed out without the effects. Like this hand right here, but without that effect with it. I would have liked to have a couple pair of those, like she's scratching at somebody, raking at somebody. But you cannot complain with the amount of awesome accessories you get with this figure. You get the soft goods cloak, the purple on the inside, on the outside, textured like it's some kind of animal hide. It does have the hood that you can put up and kind of wrap around her head to disguise her. Doesn't work super well, but you have to kind of fool with it. But you can get the look from the cartoon where she's sneaking in to the Cobra base at the beginning. But the sculpting and the paintwork on this figure, and it really doesn't have that many colors in it. It's like 3 colors in it, but man, they're done so well. Just looking at it go around, really does look like it is made out of the chitin. That's the word of the day, chitin. Everybody scream when you hear chitin. It really does look like she's wearing armor made out of it over some sort of a pink type fitting bodysuit. My number 5, Pythona. Really cool figure, even if you don't like Cobra Law. It's a neat figure to have in your collection. Number 4, Kyle Budo Gesso. This may be where it goes off into the weeds here at the end for some of you guys. That's okay. There may be some people watching this going, what is wrong with this dude putting Budo at number 4? Because I really feel like Budo is going to be a lot of people's number 1 classified of the year. And if he is, there's nothing wrong with that because Budo is an awesome figure. There's not really anything to dislike with Budo. Some people don't like the FAMAS that he comes with, the rifle he's got, the bipod pops off of it. People wish the sheaths were on the other side. The sheaths aren't on the proper side. That doesn't really matter to me. I don't wear swords, so and if I had a FAMAS, I would probably like it. So for me, this figure is great. You get so much with this guy. This guy is the definition of what a deluxe figure should be. I love this figure. So we get the Reed cloak. Of course, we get the FAMAS. We get the kind of toned down tactical samurai helmet that's got the comms built into it, which was an awesome idea that you get an alternate modernized samurai helmet. You get the unmasked bear head that does look a whole lot like John Wick coming back around next to the head. You get the neck armor. I don't know if it's neck armor or medallion. I don't know what it is supposed to be. You get a whole ass other piece of samurai armor that you can put on this guy that is a modern tactical samurai armor to go with the modern tactical samurai helmet. So this guy can still display his samurai heritage on a modern battlefield. How awesome is that that they come up with that idea? It's great. Coming back around over here, you've got the loincloth piece that has the sheath on it for the medium sized sword. Tonto, is that a Tonto sword? Whatever, the smaller of the swords, with the armor coming down in the front. You get a different set of the more modernized wrist gauntlets, and then you do get the neck scarf for this guy. And I hadn't even talked about what I've got on him yet. The traditional samurai sword with the Oni mask. Finally remembered what that mask is called. That's the Oni mask. I knew it wasn't a Kabuki mask in my review. I knew it wasn't a Kabuki, but I couldn't think of Oni mask. I remembered it, you guys. I've got the traditional forearm guards on him, the more traditional armor with the full skirt piece on him. I've got the dual sheaths that are on the right side with the short and the medium sword, and then the long sword, obviously, he's holding with the sheath around his back that goes over his shoulder. So many different looks you can make with this guy. Literally, you can do a ton of stuff with him. I did not have Budo when I was a kid. I didn't order this Budo until he was already out. People already had him for a week or two before I broke down and ordered him, just because I saw how much fun everybody else was having with him, how much you could do with this figure. And I have other ninjas. It's not like I don't have other figures that go with this guy. I just didn't like him when I was a kid. I didn't even own him. I was still buying Real American Hero figures. I was still playing with them. I just didn't want Budo because I didn't really need a samurai guy. But here, I need this Budo. They've gave me a tactical samurai guy, or they've given me just an agent that looks like John Wick with swords. Nothing to dislike with Budo. Number 4 for me, and now it's going to start getting down to characters that I really like more, and that's why they won out.
Runner up. Remember that time I showed you guys the firefighter and I said there was one other figure that also wasn't popular with some people, and I kept going back and forth on which one makes the list and which one makes runner up? Well, meet Sergeant Slaughter. This is the Sarge from the Mercer 2 pack, and unless you're not a Sergeant Slaughter fan, I cannot possibly imagine what somebody would not like about this figure. I love everything about this figure. This is a field commander out in the field taking charge, getting his hands dirty alongside his guys. I love this look for Sarge. You got the desert camo, you got the bullet belt. I love this new grenade launcher that they gave him. Not sure if that's the side the grenades would load in on something like this, but I've also never seen one. I don't even know if that is a real thing with a handheld belt fed grenade launcher. I don't know. All I know is it looks freaking awesome in this toy line. But he's got his marine cap. Of course, he's got his glasses. The desert camo I love. Got the grenades in the back. One of the best knives in the line. They gave him this sweet magnum that's just a little too small. I think it's just a little bit undersized. That's why I don't have it in his other hand, or vice versa. That's why he's not holding it. It seems just a little small. But this figure is all pinless. I love this thing. You got the M4, whatever it's supposed to be, variant, the underbarrel. You get the beret. You have the beret to turn him into Evil Sarge if you want to, or he could just be a field commander in a beret. You get the drill instructor hat. You got the head with the whistle mounted in it, so you don't have to have it around his neck. You can have him using it. You got your baton, and of course, you got some punchy fists because it's Sergeant Slaughter. Ammo belt. Don't remember if I said ammo belt, but you can see he has one. I just love this look for Sergeant Slaughter, and I am a Sergeant Slaughter fan, so he almost made the list. This is the guy that traded spots in my head with the firefighter. There was no Firefly this year. Probably Ninja Firefly next year. Oh God, it won't be on this list. Anyway, I love this Sergeant Slaughter. Did you guys pick this Sarge up? What do you think about it? I think he's great. Runner up. Retro card cover girl. Yes, retro cards are classifieds too. This is not even my cover girl. I like the first one. I had no problems with the other cover girl. That's my cover girl. But there is no denying how awesome this figure is. And so the first one is more of whatever, tank commander or whatever you want to call her, pilot cover girl. And with this one, they kind of went more mechanic route, I think. Um, She's got the wrench. I love the sledgehammer. I'm a sucker for some sledgehammers. They went that route, and they put the money in the design of the figure with the swappable headpieces and the hair. She's got the cap with the long ponytail here with the smile. Cute. I mean, it's a cute figure. And then they've got the other head that's more serious, and you can swap out the long flowing hair however you want to do it. I like this look. There's just something about a girl in a beat up ball cap with a grin holding a sledgehammer that's going to get me every time. Of course, she comes with the stand. She's got a couple pair of punchy, or a pair of punchy fists. And of course, because this is a retro based on the cartoon, you got to have the XMLR laser rifle that every single one of these retro card Joes needs to have. Should be written into a law somewhere. I love it. And they actually painted it here. It looks really good. It's got the silver, the black, the olive that matches her outfit. This is a fantastic figure. Just not quite fantastic enough to get in my top 10, but worthy of mentioning here. I love it. Runner up, Law and Order. I know this is one that's going to make top 10 lists for a lot of people. For me, it's a runner up. They were on the bubble. But like I mentioned, that is still pretty dang good because I started with 23 or 24 figures and narrowed it down to 13 with 3 runners up. And I love this set. Like, there's not much to dislike with this Law and Order set. Did a really good job updating Law yet keeping Law's classic look. They toned the colors down a little bit, which is fine. I mean, they've done that with a lot of classifieds and it really works. So I'm happy with the way that they did that. He came out great. The MP helmet scuffed up. He's got his badge. He's got the radio that he can actually remove and talk into. Got his shoulder or his chest holster on his overlay. And for an overlay, he can actually get a little more range of motion than a lot of these figures do. Got his armband, the MP canine, which did annoy me at first, but if you heat it and you push it up onto where the sleeve is rolled, it'll actually pretty much stay in place. So Other than that, the handcuffs, I wish they were the shiny silver, like the ones that are fixed. And he doesn't have a sheath for his knife. A lot of people complained about this Uzi holster. I like it. I don't mind the Uzi holster. Where does Snake Eyes put his Uzi when he's not using it? Nowhere. He doesn't bring it, or he has to hold it the whole time. Law, smart, smart. Got a holster for it. Order, great. I love this order. I love the goggles. It's perfect. They fit on there, little dog goggles. Every time it goes around, I love looking at them. You can have this guy lowering out of the dragonfly on the cable. So much you can do with this figure. Different vest, got the MP canine on it. Only thing I don't like about it is they gave us a vest with holes to plug modular pouches into, but they didn't give us any pouches. Well, you got to take the pouches off of something else. I know we've all got them, but I got to rob one figure to make another one complete. It's just a nitpick. It looks fine without pouches, but it looks a lot finer with the pouches. You got the good boy face for Junkyard. I love they're keeping that up for these animal companions, giving them a an aggressive face and a good boy face. I've got his collar off there. I took it off with this forward handle on it. Let's see, and then we got a bunch of command hands for Law. I don't think there's as many as there were with Mutt. Maybe I don't remember how many came with Mutt. Now I'm a Mutt and Junkyard over Law and Order guy. It's just how it's always been. I like Rottweilers more than I like German Shepherds, but these guys kind of do two different functions. Still, we get another doggo in the line. I'm all for the dogs. So, Law and Order did make my runners up list. It's a great set. Been on clearance at Target. If you somehow don't have this guy, now's the time.
Number 3, Combat Armor Cobra Commander. Now, this is one that's probably not even on a lot of people's top 10 lists this year, and if it is, it's probably not this high up on the list, and that's okay. Cobra Commander, as you may or may not know, is my favorite character. People ask me who my favorite G.I. Joe character is. I assume the rest of that question is other than Cobra Commander. Combat Armor, we knew him as Battle Armor Cobra Commander. This was going into this year my most anticipated, my most wanted figure was Battle Armor Cobra Commander. We're only left with one really iconic version of Cobra Commander to get, and that's hooded. Will we get it? Won't we get it? I don't know. That's a debate for another time. Yes. Um, but Battle Armor, Combat Armor, Cobra Commander. I love this figure. Now, my one gripe with it was they leaned into the deep cartoon and not the Marvel comic. We didn't get a Fred 7 head with this figure. We got Once a Man Snake Cobra Commander with the snake eyes in this head sculpt right here. Of course, I don't keep that one on him. It looks fine, just not what I wanted, so I keep the human eyed version on the figure. I love the way that they recreated the classic 87 figure right here. I think this one actually looks better because the helmet does not look as wonky. I always thought the bottom of that helmet got too chunky and flared out. They slimmed it down here. They made the breathing tube connected to the helmet, not a separate piece that you're going to lose. They recreated his gun. They pretty much recreated the backpack. All of these little pieces in the armor, all of the rivets in it, all of the line work in the armor. This is a gorgeous figure. It's got the hose that goes in back here for all of his breathing apparatus or cooling system, whatever that is. The sculpt work on this figure is phenomenal, and I know some people didn't like it, but I really, really did dig it. Some people said that it wasn't shiny enough. I don't know how people arrived at that. The original wasn't any shinier than this. It's a duller, like a brushed, polished aluminum. It's not chrome. This is not supposed to be made out of chrome. I think it came out perfect. So that's why he's my number 3 figure. Well, I did mention he comes with the Once a Man Cobra Commander behind the mask head, and then they did give us Little Iguana Serpentor from Operation Dragonfire, which, if they're going to lean into the cartoon for this, I'm perfectly fine with them giving us that if that's the way they're going to go. And the iguana's cool. He's articulated. He's got like 7 different colors on this iguana. It looks great. So, nothing for me here to dislike with this character. This was one of the only figures I've ever given a perfect score to, and I've got to reflect it here because I still love it. Number 2, Dial Tone. Well, here he is in the flesh, or I guess in the plastic. The bane of most G.I. Joe classified collectors' existence for the first half of 2025, Jack Morelli Dial Tone. Man, was this dude hard to get. I don't know what happened. I guess it was changing over production. I don't know. Happened with him. Also happened with Heavy Duty. But man, this guy was hard to get. I got lucky. I got mine early. I got mine in February from GameStop. I just happened to be looking at the website when they had their second restock for this guy. And I was like, oh wow. And I bought him immediately. And he went out of stock within a couple of hours, I think. It was less than a day. And he didn't come back for months and months. And I have to say, for everybody that had to wait for Dial Tone, was he worth the wait for you? Because he sure would have been for me. If I had to wait that long to get this guy, he would have been worth every second. Perfect translation of taking a real American hero character and keeping it the same, yet changing it just enough to fit with modern times. Backpack is the best backpack in G.I. Joe Classified without a doubt, as far as the sculpt, the appearance, the paint, the functionality. It has the flip down keyboard, got a little recess in there that you can store something small, but you can stick something in there if you have to. Um, the colors, they muted them down a little bit, but I think it works even better here. He's got his beret. He does have the flip down communication piece. Now it's over his eye. It's meant to be an intercom. It does hit his chest harness with the backpack on and knocks it up, so it's more of an eyepiece than a mouthpiece. But I guess sight is part of communication too, right? I think the only people that don't like dial tone are people that somehow still haven't managed to get him, or the people that are really, really salty because they didn't exactly recreate his real American hero gun. I like that gun too. It's probably the best little SMG in the line, but I like this one. Nice, medium sized, compact SMG, but it's got the port on top that you can put his phone or PDA, whatever. It has a little screen on it. They gave him the listening device. So, in my mind, the listening device, the PDA, and the eye slash mouthpiece, maybe it does both. We don't know. All works in conjunction together. Maybe it creates a heartbeat monitor on the tablet so he can see enemies in front of him to engage or go around. Uh, it's endless what you could do with this dude, and this is one of the best recreations of a real American hero character in Classified. Very nostalgic character for me. Me and my cousin Pop Blender, when we were kids, had the hardest time finding Dial Tone. He was impossible to find. Him, the Bats, and Sci-Fi, and he was actually the hardest in 1986 to get. So I'm so glad they made him, and he's such a good figure that really hits my nostalgia because he didn't turn out to be a janky figure. And now we have mainframes, so I can put those guys together like peanut butter and jelly, peas and carrots. Not all of those together, but the two of each together. Um, Mainframe is good. Dial tone is so much better. So that's why he is number 2 on my list for 2025.
All right, now it is time to talk about my most disappointing figure of 2025. I mentioned it in the beginning of the video, and I told you if you know me, if you watch my reviews, you might be able to figure out what this figure is. However, I may throw you a curveball. Well, if you guessed that my most disappointing figure was going to be the Saw Viper, I have to tell you, you are 100% correct. No curveballs thrown here today. This figure made me sad. I was so hyped up when this figure was announced, and then I saw it, and my heart just sank, and my whole insides went, oh. This was my most anticipated whatever Viper. Loved the Saw Viper in Real American Hero comic. And of course, I loved what they did with him in Devil's Due, bringing back the Saw Viper, giving him a name, making him part of the story, turning him into Overkill. I thought we were going to get a Robert Skelton head, but they gave us this for an alternate head sculpt. Now, not too bad, I guess, if this was a Marvel legend and this was generic Spider Man villain. This is the guy that gets webbed to the vault door with a note for the cops from your friendly neighborhood Spider Man. Very disappointing. Overall, not too bad of a look, but he's just a goon. Like, I don't like it. Very disappointing. However, the most disappointing part of this figure is, of course, right here, the weapon. So, Saw Viper is an acronym for semi-automatic weapon, which itself is kind of ridiculous if you saw the Real American Hero weapon, because it looks like something Roadblock would carry. However, it was multiple selector switch. It can be used as a sniper rifle. Whatever, not going to get into it. However, it is nothing like this weapon here. Now, I know you're going to say, oh, they're classifying them up. Not everything's got to be exactly like it was as a kid. This is true, and sometimes I'm okay with that. But did they have to turn it into absolute ass semi-automatic weapon? Not saw. They put a pruning saw on the end of this terrible, terrible machine gun. At least it's detachable. I kind of like the saw by itself. I had Spideyville in here wielding two of them for a while. The weapon is bent. The handle pops off. It's hard for him to hold, and all he can do with it is varying degrees of this. The suit's so bulky he can't hold it straight out because the arms don't work that way, and if you get close, the handle pops out. The execution was just bad. I like the design choices. They toned the colors down. I didn't like the visor at first, but I do like the visor. It's grown on me. And with everything I'm saying about this figure, I like it better than when I first saw it and when I first got it. It's grown on me a little bit. As you can see, this one had to ditch that weapon, and he's got a 3D printed weapon from my buddy Turk Murphy. I also have my other Saw Viper is sporting a actual M249 saw from Top Fun Retro Toys 3D. So I'm not one to really replace weapons with my figures because that's what everybody says. Well, there's weapons everywhere. You can get weapons anywhere. You can give them other classified weapons. You can buy 3D printed weapons. I'm not that guy most of the time, but with this guy, I had to replace the weapons because he missed the mark so much for me. It could be this figure's really not that bad. I just had it built up in my head so much that I wanted it to be, and it clearly wasn't. I mean, I've got three of them still. I mean, they got my money, but maybe it's just me. Either way, very disappointing figure for me. It's made okay. I mean, I've got one that has a loose, I think, loose leg or loose knee or something, but it's not that bad. I like the armor, but it's just not what I wanted it to be. And it's mostly because of that terrible weapon. I'm sorry, I'll die on that hill. It's awful. And this is one of the very few figures I replaced the weapon on. So, very disappointing figure for me. What do you guys think of Saw Viper if you haven't already told me? Most people have already raked me over the coals for it, but go ahead, do it again in the comments.
Well, here we are, finally at number one. My number one figure, G.I. Joe Classified 2025 Dreadnought Monkey Wrench. This figure is perfection. Ripper was my number one figure in 2023, so 2 years later, one of his Dreadnought brothers holds that spot in 2025. There's nothing to dislike with Monkey Wrench. I don't see how you could possibly not like anything with this figure if you're a Dreadnought fan. If you don't like the Dreadnoughts, you can probably find a dozen things. I love the Dreadnoughts. Monkey Wrench was one of my most wanted figures. Actually, battle armor, combat armor, Cobra Commander and Monkey Wrench were my two most wanted figures from the Real American Hero line, and we got them both in 2025. It's been a good year for these figures. What do I like about Monkey Wrench? Well, they gave him the extra head sculpt with this steampunk crazy mask built into it with the red and blue, like the 3D lenses. It's like the most dreadnought thing ever. I mentioned it before. I think of like Biff's gang in Back to the Future. You had the one dude that wears the 3D glasses. That's what this reminds me of, dreadnought style. Like that's just his personal style. That's his thing. Is he wants to wear 3D glasses. So Monkey Wrench built one that's steampunk with a rebreather just for the hell of it because he's a dreadnought and he's crazy. Got his necklace here coming around. I don't have it on him, but it's got the upside down U, which I think is a sign, like a astrological sign. I said that in the review too, and I never looked to see what it was. He's got a bandana to wear around his neck, and he does have a couple extra punchy fists here. Now, as far as what makes this guy so good, perfect translation of a Real American Hero character. They took everything that made the original Monkey Wrench in '86 good, amplified it by 100, and made this one great. Everything from the boots to the hair. He has the best glasses in the entire classified line that are actually keyed into the hair and they stay in. So he's got that going for him. They give him his grenade bandolier. They give him his vest, got the straps where he can tighten it. Actual chain, painted chain. And wouldn't a dreadnought use chrome plated chains? I think, just for the hell of it. A guy that would make this mask would. Tying in with the belt buckle that matches it. Going down into the pants, the rips in the jeans. He's got bandanas tied around his shins, which I don't remember being a thing, but maybe it just wasn't in Tennessee. Probably not something we did here. He's got the back of it actually looks like the back of a motorcycle vest back here. I can see that being something sewn in. Is axes. They actually made him axes that are made out of axe handle or axe heads taped to actual monkey wrenches as the handle. So it could be used as a weapon on either end. Like, who knew that Monkey Wrench needed that? And that was just something fun that they made for him. They gave him an awesome revolver. It's what Wild Bill should have got because it's chrome. Wild Bill should have got this revolver with the ivory handles. Everything about this figure is what I want in a classified figure made out of a Real American Hero figure. They even took his Trident Dreadnought weapon and made it more awesome. So the Trident actually removes. We always wondered if it did because he has a spool of cord there. So the Trident actually does remove. They painted it the nice chrome paint as well. Then he also has an underbarrel weapon back there with it with some kind of yellow ammo on it. And they made the trigger guard for it spikes like it could be used as a weapon as well, like a trench knife. This dude is just menace and show off all rolled into one, and doesn't that perfectly uh, encapsulate what Monkey Wrench was in the cartoon? He was brash. He showed off. I mean, he was scared of spiders, but as far as his personality, like it, they took his personality and they gave it to us in action figure form. I love this figure. I'm so glad that he came out great. My dreadnoughts are pretty much complete now. I need Thrasher. Give me Thrasher and a Thunder Machine, and I'll probably buy Xandar just to complete the original Nox. Never liked Xandar, but just to have him have the original team complete, I will probably get him. And then we've got Zanya coming, who was one of my most wanted figures that's never been made, aside of like a collector's figure or convention or something. So Dreadnoks, man, are having 25, 24, and 25 was a killer year for Dreadnoks. Keep them coming. At least the original's coming. That's why Monkey Wrench is number one. It's perfect. What do you think? What do you think about the list? What do you think about my order? Do you think I'm crazy? Let me know down in the comments. It's a long video, but come on, we talked about 14 figures in this video and a whole year's worth of figures. Of course, it's going to be long. We do long videos here. Put it on 1.5 and listen. Let me know down in the comments, guys. I appreciate it. Thank you for hanging in this year, watching the reviews. Got a lot of new subscribers this year. Thank you to everybody that sticks in to listen to me talk. Listen to us on Wednesdays on Seven's Wild, and on the other Wednesday with Backyard Battlefield. Appreciate everybody that tunes in. It's a lot of fun, and the channel is nothing without subscribers. So thank you, everybody, and we'll see you in 2026.
Está muerto. Sus capos están muertos. Ustedes no tienen a nadie más por quien pelear. Llenen sus bolsillos o váyanse en paz. O vengan a pelear conmigo.